Hi, everyone. Welcome to our September QualiWare user group meeting. You all know me. My name is Cecile. Joining me on today's meeting is Kirill. Kirill will be doing the majority of the talking. I get to talk a little bit at the beginning. We've got a very exciting agenda for you. So for today, we've got an agenda that focuses on the new QualiWare 1010 release. QualiWare released 1010 just a little while ago, and we've all been very excited to receive that. We've had some time at Close Reach to dive in and take a look at all of the fun goodies that are included in this latest version, this latest release. And so today, after we do Close Reach News, Kirill is going to take us through what we've discovered so far. We've received over, the course of the past little while, we received a number of briefings from QualiWare on what to expect in the version and in the release. And we got some advanced access and downloaded it and started exploring. So we've spent quite a lot of time understanding the capabilities of the product, and Kirill is going to share that with us today. We're going to focus pretty much primarily all on version 1010. Kirill will go through the top features that have been included, and we're also going to go through what our testing findings have discovered. We go through a testing process here at Close Reach as well, so we have some things to share with you. Kuno is on the call with us today as a special guest. So if any questions that we can't answer, we're gonna phone a friend and ask Kuno what the answer is if we don't know it. At the end of the meeting, we have time. Sorry.
If Kuno doesn't pick up his phone call, we'll call Brenda Cowie as well, right?
That's right. Then we'll call Brenda. That's right. That will be the second. Yeah. At the end of the meeting, then we have time for open forum, questions that come out of the meeting, discussion around what other types of things you'd like to see in future meetings. And then we should be wrapping up by about 4:30 at the end of the session. Any questions before I get started?
Cecile, it's Brenda. Can I just say a couple things?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So if I haven't met you before, I'm Brenda Cowie, and I'm running the North American operation for QualiWare here. And Kuno, our CEO, is also on this call. We're here to fully support the Close Reach team in enabling you to be more successful and really show business value out of the tool. Of course, while Close Reach might be your first call, we are also very happy and welcome to take any calls, questions, requests at all about the tool in the market. So please feel free to engage. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'll get started with Close Reach News. We've got some events coming up that we wanted to make everybody aware of. Both Close Reach and QualiWare are sponsoring and speaking at the Atlantic Technical Summit in Halifax in November. Please pass that along to any friends and colleagues that you might have that are stationed out in Atlantic Canada. They are welcome to come by, and more information about the topics that will be presented will be provided to you before the November meeting. We have some training updates. We delivered a case-maker course successfully in July for 10 attendees, a mixture of 3 different government departments, clients of ours, and others, but that ran in July, and it's an intensive course, and I think everybody really enjoyed it. We have a business architecture course that we were hoping to run in October, but due to scheduling issues, we've moved it to January of 2026. It will be in Halifax. There is also a business architecture course on the calendar for Ottawa. So if anybody is interested at all in that, please reach out and let us know. The instructor, as many of you know, is Roger Burleton from the Process Renewal Group, And Roger's expertise in business architecture is without question. And everyone who takes his courses really comes away with a lot of actionable takeaways, and they really enjoy them. In terms of product updates from a Close Reach perspective, we have some conversion and coaching services available up on our website. Any of our customers interested in receiving some coaching or assistance from us in upgrading or converting to version 10.10, please feel free to reach out. We will be scheduling meetings with all of you, all of our customers individually to review 10.10. So beyond this meeting and what we're going to cover with you here today, we will be setting up individual one-on-one meetings with each customer to go over 10.10 and to talk about how you can take advantage of those features and what your plans are to upgrade. We've also been working on our Close Reach YouTube channel to refresh it and also to split out a lot of the use cases that we've covered over the past months in our QualiWare user group meetings. We're splitting those out as individual use case videos to make it easier for you to find things that you're wanting to reference. So please do check out our YouTube channel and have a look there. And if you have any questions about how to find that, do feel free to reach out to myself or to Kirill or Kevin directly for assistance. We also have some new info sheets available for download on our website about the management solutions that we offer that are based on QualiWare. We have put together packages for different solutions based on the QualiWare use cases, and there's information up on our website that you can reference in case there's any areas that you might be interested in exploring a little further. Now, Brenda jumped the gun, and I would like to introduce you to Brenda Cowie, who is QualiWare's new Senior VP focused on North America. Brenda met some of you previously in the spring. We're really pleased to have her as part of the management team at QualiWare. Brenda's based in Toronto. We will be arranging for meetings for her to visit our customers in person and understand more about what you guys have as requirements and how QualiWare can be used to assist you achieving those goals. So welcome, Brenda, and glad to have you as part of our community. And
Thank
Kuno, of course, Kuno is also on the call today. We have a new QualiWare capability video available. Now, Kirill, I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't know if you happen to have that anywhere handy. If you could drop it into the chat. We were going to show a small snippet of it, but I don't know if that's possible to do today. So what we did over the last little while, month or so, is we've worked on a short video that highlights the QualiWare capabilities of all of the different use cases that are possible in the tool. We've heard feedback from some of you that you have experienced challenges in trying to explain to different parts of your department what QualiWare does and how they can benefit from using the tool as well. So we put together, it's like an 8-minute video that highlights all of the different use cases that are available. It's going to be up on our YouTube channel. It will also be posted on our website as well. Kirill, I don't know if you're in a position to show that right now or not. And if you're not, that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. We can showcase that. No problem.
Okay. If you would like to just...
When we are done with Close Reach News, maybe it's the first thing I'm going to do as part of my presentation.
Yeah, like just 30 seconds just to give them the intro, and then we'll put the link in the chat, and then people can get it from there, or they can go on to our YouTube channel and get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's everything I have for Close Reach News for now. I'm going to hand things over to Kirill to show us a snippet of that video. Thank you, Carol, for pivoting for me. And then he'll get started with our 1010 presentation for today. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Cecile. So it is actually posted on our website. And as Cecile mentioned, the idea behind the video was quite simple. We typically spend about an hour to an hour and a half to do demos for QualiWare and display different capabilities, highlights, use cases, benefits, and so on. We want you guys to have some of that in your back pocket next time when your users ask, and hey, tell me a little bit more about QualiWare and how it all interacts with each other. They're able to play this 8 to a 9-minute video, and this would highlight them all sorts of capabilities that QualiWare is able to do, from application portfolio management to process management to compliance to risk management, innovation, customer journey maps, all sorts of frameworks I mentioned there as well, top processes, value chain models, visualization capabilities, analyses, you name it, it's all there. The beautiful part of it, again, you next time when people will be asking, hey, tell me a little bit more about it, you can send them that 9-minute video and they can watch it and tell them, listen, oh, you know what? The compliance part is really interesting because right now we're handling ISO 9001 and we do want to have a compliance management system in place. So that's a marketing material for you, ladies and gentlemen. So you could pass it over to your user community essentially and enhance that communication channels that you're having with your business and technical groups inside of your organization.
Thanks, Carol. And I apologize for throwing that on you at the last second like that. Thanks very much. And so, folks, if you have feedback on that, please do feel free to reach out. After you've had a chance to look at that video, we'd be more than happy to hear what you have to say about it. Happy to answer any questions or engage in any way that you're interested in. So Carol is going to pretty much take over the rest of this meeting now, and I get to sit back and just watch, which is great. That's the kind of meeting that I love. We're going to go through the top features in QualiWare that we have looked at and that has been included in the release. Then we're going to talk a little bit about our testing findings, and Carol is going to show you and discuss a few scenarios of setting up some of the new features of what we've learned as we've gone through. So Carol, I'm going to just hand this back to you. If you want to talk to this slide or if you want to take it over, it's entirely up to you.
Yeah, so I'll quickly.
Could I just interrupt just for a second before you take over, Carol? It's Mike here. How do you want people to ask questions? Do you want them to raise hands and somebody will be looking for it? Or do you want them to try and interrupt you when you're in the middle of talking about something?
Okay. Either works. I'm prepared for all of the scenarios, but reality, if you guys want to just raise your hand and Cecile will be monitoring chat, that'd be great. Thanks, Mike. All right. So 1010 top features. Most of you probably have already watched the demo that Kuna have done, I think a couple of times actually. There was a dedicated webinar, and then we had a different sessions showcasing capabilities as well as release notes that were posted on QualiWare website. My goal was to take it even further, explore how could the end user could truly benefit from those features. And we've highlighted those that we thought that would be really, really important for the folks going from 10.9 to 10.10. So we're going to start with new desktop and dashboard items. And I'm going to actually spend most of my time will be really spent on top 4, top 5 capabilities. And the truly fascinating part that QualiWare has done is actually they've converted a lot of the complex desktops and dashboards into easy to use autonomous desktops where the end user can go in, update the information themselves. They've created the DIY tools, so do-it-yourself tools. And I'm gonna right now, I found a list of all sorts of quotes I've taken from our customers over the past a year or so. And to summarize that, the people have been saying, we are having issues selling the tool or advertising or marketing the tool because the tool is hard to edit or hard to set up as far as the presentation layer. So the end user who wants just to use a couple of tiles here and there, we got to request an architect to update that information in the back end. So then they can see a different presentation layer and use some of the tiles and desktops. So that has been changed. And I think that's for the good. Now the end users get their autonomy. You get more insights and less complexity for the end user to do the updates, set up their own desktops, and be able to use that presentation layer in their kind of MySpace. I'm going to be using the word MySpace, really, to do the work and do the analysis of that content in the repository. So I'm going to take over right now, Cecile, and I'm going to start actually going for the tool. And right. Q. I'm going to quickly show you what 10.9 versus 10.10 looks like. So this was our discovery in 10.9. You will notice that you have a dedicated tiles for the diagrams. You will have dedicated diagrams for creating certain content. Let's say I want to create my business process. I want to create the business process network. I got to have a dedicated tile for that. Now, that has changed. And that has changed drastically. The other part is those tabs there, every single desktop. Depending on the role, yes, you could adjust the role and then you would see less desktops as the roles are prepared. Yet you would still might have a default role and you would have 10 or 11 or 15 different desktops. And people have been complaining it's too complicated or it's too complex. Well, now we went from you have a dedicated tile for each action. You actually went to lists. And that's what it looks right now in 10.10. This is the 10.10 discovery, which we've pretty much 95% converted to 10.10. So instead of you having individual tile for, I want to create the business process, or I want to create the business process network. Now you have a tile. In those tiles, you will notice those dashboard items. Those are the lists that you can insert all sorts of actions as part of that particular tile. So you can do the imports, you can create, you can edit, you can view the content, you can do all sorts of great stuff within one tile. And that allows you either more space on your screen for the other stuff that you want to provide to your business user, maybe more insights, more analyses, do some sort of evaluation or enhance the use case. Or you can simply hide all of that items and then leave just one or two tiles to get a clean, easy to use interface. The other part that you will notice that we used to have those tabs. Those tabs are pretty much now gone. And I have an opportunity now right now to delete them, so to remove them or add them whenever I want to. So just by clicking, so I'm going to refresh that, just by clicking plus, I'm able to create the new desktops and generate the right presentation layer for me. Okay, Houston, we got problems. I'm going to switch to another demo repository. We've been doing some updates in ours. I apologize. It's going to go in here. Perfect. So process management, application management, and all sorts of other desktops. Those desktops that used to live there at the top all the time, now they are part of this list. And I can add or remove those tabs anytime when I want to. If I want to add Archimate, fantastic, I'll select that. And now I have Archimate view. If I don't need to use application or process management, I'll be happy to delete some of those and just leave Archimate. Next time when I'm going to log into the system, I'm able to save that as a layout and just use that particular desktop. So this is going to help with two things. It's going to drive user adoption because people will have less complicated views compared to what you've seen in 10.9. This will also allow them to do things on their own. If you want to add certain tiles, remove certain tiles from the screen, you're able to do that by yourself anytime, whenever you want to. So if I was to add a process management diagram right now, sorry, process management desktop, I'm going to select this one. And you will notice this is your brand new process management desktop. Again, we have a diagram, we have a getting started list here where it consists all sorts of action items there. You can take a look at your current state of affairs with processes, establish the ownership, take a look at the business logistics and value streams, provide feedback, register and change requests or ideas or problems. You can evaluate those business processes. There's all sorts of queries, matrices, and spreadsheets available for you to do the work. And then you can finally design that. So you can go to initiatives, create roadmaps, establish process definitions, so on and so forth. Now you also have process hierarchy here, and this is something very different from what you've seen in the past. So that process hierarchy is really a subset of Repository Explorer for those of you who are technical. This is really what I found. It's kind of a mirror of some of those folders, which you now have them present on the main screen, available anytime, whenever you need to view either processes related information or applications or compliance. This really could be anything. And then you can essentially drill down into the layers of the information and find the right connectivity or traceability among your processes or any other aspects of your repository. You can also obviously update that. So just by clicking on that, you're able to see that's my folder, and you're able to add all sorts of different information as part of that folder. So really, instead of you keep clicking on all sorts of different Repository Explorer buttons and where I need to go next, you're able to push it to the main page. And then page really is going to allow you to give you a lot of business insights without you trying to go into that deep weeds of Repository Explorer or any other menus. There's a process news here as well. You can create your own news right now. So just by clicking create news, you're able to set those news up and the other folks will be able to see it. Now, obviously, you're able to disable it if you don't want anybody to be tweaking with those process news. That could be set. There could be an access rights and access control set up in place in order to disable that. Charts. And then the other models are really a part of that. Nothing really different in that perspective. What's really different is those lists. And those lists can save you a lot of time. They organized everything in one sort of a container instead of having it all across the screen. Now, the other benefit to that is that now I can enable the edit mode on the main screen as well. And I can decide what I want to see next time on this process management desktop. Well, process news, not really relevant to me. And how about I don't really want to see operator model. So I click on the one button, just gonna go back. Enable it. I don't want to see process news. I don't want to see this. Oh, okay. Well, this is an unexpected behavior. That might be a bug. Okay. Well, that's something to note. Kuno, maybe we need to write that one down. When I click on hide, it actually opens that particular diagram.
Right. It shouldn't do that.
Shouldn't do that. I agree with you. But process news and the other items, realistically, you guys could remove it and you can pin it down and listen, maybe I like this top process and I want to really pin it to my desktop. So I'm going to pin that to my desktop, and next time I don't have to go to process management desktop anymore. I actually can just stay on my user desktop and I will find that particular top process model on my main desktop. So what I just showed you guys is a large variety of autonomy that now your business users are able to do without architects, without technical experts. Right now, somebody who's in CFA, and Kevin Mulally, I'm going to pick you right now because we had this conversation about going from 10.9 to 10.10 in CFA environment. Now, you guys are able to essentially empower your business users to go in, pick the content they want to use, and have it sit in there on the user desktop. And you don't have to update that content yourself. You don't have to publish anything for them. You don't really have to remove the tiles. They can do it all by themselves. Wouldn't that be nice? So that's really one of the great benefits of having those new desktops and new tiles. I just want to go back for a second to the main page. And we're going to refresh it. And I'm going to open the process management one time. Sorry, before I go there, my personal actions. You see this list? This used to be like a 10 to a 15 tile exercise. You would need to have at least 10 to 15 tiles for every single one of those items. So my to-do list would be a separate tile. My responsibilities, my subscriptions, my audits. You guys remember that? There would be 15, 20, 30 different tiles. Now it's just one nice list sitting there on the left and doing its work. Yes, Mike, jump in.
Just a question, because one of the good things about having the separate tiles is right in front of me, it would say my actions, for example, and there's the number 3 that came up telling me I have 3 actions. Is there now with it in a kind of a list like this, is there a way to show that in some of those areas there are actually things you should click on? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. You mean notifications within those lists to notify there's something new essentially, and there's like a ribbon.
Exactly.
Right. I'm not aware of that feature. I know that there's always a way to go back to the old tile and say there's some new action items available on a separate tile, but I haven't discovered the way to have those notification ribbons on the list.
Okay. Is that a question for Kuno?
I need that question again, though. Sorry. So the list name is something you can change.
So when they were separate tiles, the tiles would show a number saying that, oh, you have 2 actions that you're responsible for, or you have 2 ideas that you have to update.
Yeah.
Here we have a list, but we're missing some sort of indicator to say you've got some things to do.
Yeah, there's my to-do list, Mike.
Yeah.
There's my to-do list right there.
No, but you mean in the menu there, and I don't think that's possible right now.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But there is still a way to go back to the old tile. Let's say if a person wants to have a dedicated tile for my actions or my to-do list, there's still a way to go back essentially and have that dedicated tile to tell you how many items you have in your to-dos, Mike.
And I'm sorry because I may have one more question. When you said my to-do list, does the my to-do list all of the actions, including my nonconformances, my audits, my corrective actions? Or is it a different type of list?
Yeah, so my to-do list, if you have certain actions relevant to governance, let's say, and there's your name as part of the change request process. Let's say you're one of the reviewing parties, or let's say you somebody connected to your name, let's say to the change request and nonconformance. Yeah, it will be showing up in my to-do list, Mike. So as long as there is a certain linkage between you and the other object, this might be a part of that my to-do list.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you, Mike. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go into the process management. So for the process management, you might notice again the getting started. And the getting started part is really would be a part of any out-of-the-box desktop right now. It would be relevant to the process management, application portfolio management, and compliance. You would still notice the getting started kind of tile. Again, the goal is here to empower somebody who does not possess a lot of technical knowledge in QualiWare and been still able to navigate for QualiWare, create the content, edit that content, view that, or hey, you want to learn a little bit more about business process management? Fantastic. Here is the Center of Excellence link. Brings you directly to QualiWare Center of Excellence, where you can learn more about process management desktops and understand how they works and what are they relevant to. Now, alternatively, you could also load some of your own links in it as well, right? So somebody like D&D that have a dedicated DINDEF framework, if you would want to have a DINDEF URL link sitting right there, pointing your users to understand how those views work and some of the pieces about DINDEF, this could be stored right there. So quite neat the way how they set it up. Create and edit and view, and we've discussed that. The next one I want to really talk about would be Smart Importer. And that's yet another way to empower the end user to go ahead and create and update their own information. To the date, I'm going to summarize multiple quotes that I've heard from users. Well, we need to have somebody really knowledgeable in generic table interface, which is one of the tools to update and store the information and import information from Excel sheets into QualiWare. We need somebody knowledgeable to get that done. I can't do that myself. I'm a manager. I'm not really knowledgeable in QualiWare. I just want to have somebody to get that done. Well, actually now, we would allow folks with a Smart Importer just to take their CSV file and with minimum knowledge, it's truly minimal. You go next. And what I'm doing right now, I can import applications. Many of you have been importing applications from your Excel sheets, load in, who are the system owners, departmental results framework, locations, all sorts of different attributes about applications. So now you're able to do that in Smart Import. And I would select information system. I would explain what's a short description, set up what's the attribute for that short description as part of information system, who is the system owner in that particular application. I would map it out. I would pick the system owner, and I would pick the appropriate template of that system owner. Well, who would that be? It could be an organizational unit, or it could be a role. And I pick the role, and then I would click next, and voila, look at that. So I've actually just did this exercise about an hour ago, and I already uploaded an information system and the relevant role. So it's going to give you a warning that, hey, this already have been uploaded. Do you want to update the existing records, or would you like to ignore it? Or would you like to create the new ones? So it gives you that notification messaging before it starts loading anything, which is a big difference to the GTI. Generic table interface on its own, it's not going to give you any prompt warnings. It will just keep essentially loading and updating the information according to whatever functions or settings you set in the GTI. Now, the other beauty is that you are actually able to save that map, and similar to generic table interface, but now much more user-friendly for that business users, able to load mapping, select, APM load one, I'm going to select this one, and this will automatically set up those mapping parameters for me. Once I go there, I will click next. Again, it's going to give me a prompt warning, and then essentially it will let me know the object list of items that are being created within the repository, and then I'm able to click on create objects, and it will create those objects. A lot of time saved. Really, I'm the person who used the GTIs many times. I can tell you this is truly a user-friendly device. And if I give somebody a 15-minute to a 30-minute coaching session, they would be easily able to upload their content on their own. How you guys want to set those access rights and who is allowed to upload the content, that's a different story. But being able to do that just in the main screen right up there, that could truly drive the user adoption as well as the user satisfaction as far as doing your own things without requesting that support ticket. Are there any questions? Please.
Yeah, JR's got
Yeah.
one.
JR
So-
has one. Excellent.
Yeah, a big surprise, huh? So I want you to know I've been off for a while and not thinking computer stuff, so my terminology is going to be wrong. But hopefully I can get the gist across. We at our department are going to be losing the ability to import from network drives. So we've got like a C or an F, an X, a T kind of network drives. Those are disappearing. My C drive is not going to be available anymore. And we're all moving to, and this is where I need some help, is it SharePoint? The new Office 365.
Mhm.
And the My Drive, or I think it's what it's called is My Drive. That's where all content is going to be saved.
OneDrive, right?
The OneDrive.
Thank you.
OneDrive.
See, it's been a while. Is there an ability to be able to pull from OneDrive? Is that an add-on product? Like I know there was from QualiWare a separate license. I thought it was for something like SharePoint, but
SharePoint
this is
connector.
There's a
SharePoint connector. There you go. Yeah. Is that going to solve my issue? Because I can't import the way you are demoing right now.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
The SharePoint integration. Actually, Kuno, you want to jump in because I know you want.
Yeah, you can point to files in OneDrive. It doesn't matter. This works for that. So you don't need the SharePoint integrator for that. You just point to the OneDrive.
You point like whack the URL?
Yeah, no, not the URL. When you're on OneDrive, you get a list of files just like you do on C drive. It's just not on the C drive. So yeah, it's synchronizing.
All right. If I can't figure it out, I'll put a ticket in and get some help with that. Thank you, Kuno.
Sure.
If I could
Also-
just if I could put my 2 cents in here as an answer, OneDrive is not the same as SharePoint. The OneDrive is just your C drive in the cloud. And so when Kuno says just click and it opens up your files and your folders, it's just as if it was on your C drive, but it's in the cloud. It's not the same as SharePoint.
It's SharePoint that I am specifically looking for. That's where everyone is dumping stuff to in our department.
Okay.
And I do apologize. My terms are a little
No,
off right
it's
now.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
maybe that's something for us to explore, JR, when we meet with the ESTC team. So I can reach out to you separately about that if you want.
Yeah, and more of a heads up for you as well on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And then the other question, JR, is have you actually, I don't know, do you guys already have a 1010 installed
In a
ESTC?
dev environment.
Okay, did you test out that particular feature?
I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't say, hey, go to this share. But on a dev
Okay.
environment, I don't even know if I have SharePoint in the
Okay.
dev environment. Like it's all isolated, right? But on the
Fair
left-hand
enough.
side, I don't know how to get to SharePoint.
Right. I see. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
I wonder what other restrictions you have in place there, or yeah. Well, for example, I'm using right now QualiWare's environment located in Denmark, and like I don't have access to my C drive here, but C drive when I go through QLM, let's say, I would not be able to see
I'm
that.
stopping you there. I am not letting anyone in QLM. You do it on the web or you don't do it.
So this should really be working. I'm puzzled why it's not, because I'm able to see everything, and I think the way it could be set up is that you are able to see some sort of a folders to upload stuff. It should be.
So SharePoint, I think, is my question. How do I upload from SharePoint?
The SharePoint upload has to do with you pointing a external document object to the file that is saved in SharePoint. SharePoint is a document management system that has a different approach or a different interface from the normal OneDrive or C drive or whatever. So SharePoint is a system that needs access in a different way. So you would do that by defining an object in a QualiWare that points to your file. and that object is called an external object. And if you do that, then you point to your object, and it will download that file from SharePoint. And then you can upload it again. You can create a new revision, all these stuff that you would want to do with document management systems in general.
Can I suggest, that's an awesome answer. Any chance of a demo, not today, but maybe next month? A demo on that one?
There's a whole new document management desktop actually that handles all this for you. So that's something that is in the new system. I don't know if you're, I don't want to take your...
No, that's fine. I mean, we can quickly take a look at it.
Mhm.
We do have actually time.
Thank you for the answer.
Yeah, thank you, Kuno. That's great. Thanks for the question, JR. That's good. So, Kirill, I'm going to keep track of the time, right?
Yeah, that's fine. We're just going to spend quickly. So, document management. There is a way to create. So you're talking about external documents, right? Kuno?
Yeah, that's right.
And storage system, SharePoint. Now, there's no license available right now, but I assume that's the option that you would select, right? In order to connect it.
And then point to the file name and it'll upload it. Yeah.
But Kuno, didn't you say that's not a separate license to make this work?
No, it needs to be installed. It's a separate module that you need to install. I think it's a separate license as well. I don't know if it's included in 10.10 actually. Brenda may know, but we can find out. I think it used to be a separate license.
I won't put you on the spot. Thank you for the answer.
No.
We'll demo it next year or next month.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Well, we'll get back to you on that. So sorry,
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in here, Cecile. Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. And Jared, if you need the demo before then, like we don't want you waiting and being held back a month for a user group meeting. Not at all. So let's arrange that between Kirill, Cecile, and myself, and we'll make sure to get you sorted much sooner than later. Okay.
Looking for the heart button. There it is.
Okay, I think we also had a question from, I think Hisham had your hand up.
I have just one question for the SharePoint as well. It's supporting the online SharePoint and the offline. If they support the online SharePoint, how we manage the tenant ID, and if it's behind the cloud, is it possible in QualiWare we can connect to online SharePoint?
Yeah, it is. It is it's another communication layer. It's not just the files. But of course, when you upload a file to the SharePoint, you can point to a file on OneDrive, and then when you click OK, it uploads to the SharePoint. It can also download, of course, if it's in SharePoint already. So SharePoint is a document management system that has, put and get and all these things that you would normally have in a document management system. You can also actually, instead of using SharePoint, you can embed the document in the QualiWare external document object. In that case, it will be stored in the QualiWare repository as a blob object. But then it's not in SharePoint, it's just in QualiWare.
But my question is more about authentication to the online SharePoint from QualiWare. For example, in ESDC, we log with our Active Directory account, but in the QualiWare, we have just a service account, which is not as users in this SharePoint. And we try to connect from QualiWare that doesn't allow us to connect on to this SharePoint.
That's a little strange. If you can connect to SharePoint from your browser, you should be able to do it from QualiWare.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll explore that, Hisham, when we follow up with JR.
Yeah, because
we'll include you, of course.
Yeah, and because the service account is not one of the user of our online SharePoint, and when I'm connecting in SharePoint, I'm connecting with my account, not with the service account. But I have to investigate this one. It's okay.
Okay. You need for that. You need the right account, of course. I mean, it must be the same account that you logged in with on QualiWare. You cannot log in in QualiWare. You cannot log in with one account that doesn't have access to SharePoint just because it's you sitting at the computer. It needs to be the same account.
Okay.
And that's security for you.
So Hisham, let's follow that up. We'll follow that up.
Mhm.
And have a further. We'll include you in any further discussions we have about the SharePoint piece.
Thank you.
And I see a note from Adam saying that D&D has the same 2-account issue as well. So you're not alone.
Correct. We can't use Power BI for one.
It could be easier just to
that's-
have one account maybe, or include both accounts. Have you tried both accounts?
To me, it appears that if you're logged in with your ordinary non Office 365 account, then the authentication doesn't happen automatically in the background, and things like Power BI fail.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
D&D does plan to merge those accounts, and their timeline is somewhere in 2026.
Okay.
That's better than no timeline.
You can still download, like I say, you can still download a copy of the file and place it inside the external document in QualiWare. Then you will be able to get to that document without the link to the SharePoint. Of course, you won't see the updates then, and it won't be synchronized in terms of version control and things like that. So it's not recommendable. But if you have a problem, that is a way to do it. It's still very protected. It's only the person who has access to that external document in QualiWare that will see the document. So it's still protected from a security point of view.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. Kirill, do you want to continue?
Sure. All right. So we talked about the new desktops. Do you want to quickly mention, and Kuno a little bit highlighted about the documentation desktop, but there's a lot of other desktops that they've added. Contract management, maybe I'll quickly highlight that. DORA, there's enough Me2 architecture framework dedicated desktop as well. So that's the part of the tool right now, right? And that might be of interest to some of our customers. So UAF and NAV are right now part of QualiWare. If you want to create NATO or UAF content, you would find that right under the getting started tile. Contract management, I'm going to skip to the contract management for the sake of time. This is something that we find our customers using a lot as far as the procurement, vendor, contract management capabilities in QualiWare, and this is really demonstrating some of the aspects of contract management that could be done in QualiWare. Again, viewing important content, being able to view when those contracts are about to be expired, or if there is any warnings of termination items in place toward those contracts, you're able to have one of those queries to showcase that. Quite effective. And the Close Reach actually have created dedicated procurement requests as well as vendor management solutions, where we enhance even further some of those capabilities in regard to managing vendors, contracts, risks, linking it back to compliance, and able to assist some of those procurement personnel with decision-making process and be able to stay on top of things. So it's great to see that QualiWare took some steps in regarding contract management as well. Composable business. Actually, I'm gonna jump back to you, and I'm gonna ask, could you describe us the composable business part a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Composable business has to do with a new approach to business analysis that has been sort of getting more traction, and for good reasons. Composable business is a term that has also been coined by Gartner, and it talks about the structure of business domains. Now, for those of us who've seen these diagrams before, we will recognize them as something we called business functions back in the days. But if you're in a sort of modern business analysis, you'll see, okay, we have an HR domain, we have a sales domain, we have an inventory domain, we have a finance domain. And the reason this is becoming more important is because there are certain critical decisions and initiatives that needs to be gathered from strategic view rather than just sort of bottom-up for example, risk management. We have large clients now, especially in the finance sector, who have their top management team being very focused on running risk analysis programs for different domains so that they know that everybody has done risk analysis in the business. They're basically, they must do it basically. There's a law for financial institutions to make sure that they do that. So the risk management, instead of being something that you would ask your process owner and your application owner to manage a little bottom up here and handle a little bit like, quality management and audits and things like that, it's become a strategic top-down approach. So if you go to domain risk management tile over there, you can see managed risk analysis is a, you can compare that to having an audit program. Now it's just a strategic, top-level strategic risk analysis program that makes sure that every person who is responsible for risk domain will do the analysis at a certain point in time and report back the findings and things like that. So it's a more structured way to risk management, and that's just one part of the composable business. The other part has to do with how the business domains communicate with each other. So that whole sort of interface between one domain and another domain in order to establish an end-to-end process. So it's a different way of modeling your business, basically.
Good. Okay. Well, thank you very much. So that's now available in 10.10. And when you guys upgrade, you'll be able to see that as part of your publisher as well. All right. Thank you. I'm going to go back to the tiles for a second, just because I think that's important to highlight. I'm actually going to open the application management for a second. So you will notice on the application portfolio management desktop, you now have Gantt charts. You have QRVs, which are the queries and matrices. You now have dedicated structure subsets. So all of that items are now available in 10.10, were not available in 10.9. You had to actually click on the tile to see the Gantt chart, or been able to modify it, or you would have to click on the dedicated diagram, and then from there you would have to play with some of the improvement in schedule or Gantt charts or QRV. So it is making it more user friendly for the end user, and that's definitely a plus. The other item that I want to show you is how we've integrated with Power BI using those new interactive tiles. And that will be right here. Give me a second. I'm just going to switch to that. And hopefully it loads. All right. Excellent. And then integrations. All right. So as part of Power BI integration, we have the tile dedicated for the Power BI dashboard. And you're able to interactively walk through any of those options, and the system would automatically update those results as if you would be in Power BI. Quite great way to, we've heard from our customers and users saying, listen, I want to have a little bit of a Power BI thing going on here. Now that's how you could integrate and embed some of those tiles into the dashboards in QualiWare. The next step I want to highlight is actually the web modeler. So we discussed the dashboard desktops, Smart Importer. We talked about new tiles, which are, again, great way to navigate things by the business users. Now I want to go into the web modeler. And the web modeler have changed as well for the better. Just going to pick the right one that I can modify. All right. I'm going to click Edit Diagram. So the view have changed. Right now you have the symbols no longer on the right side. You have them on the left. And there used to be a behavior when you click on some of the items, you would notice that one of the symbol panels would disappear, and you would have to go back and click on the button symbols and then reopen it back again. So now it's stationary. Now you're able to do modeling work without you going back from one tab to the other. Saves a lot of time. I like it. Another great feature is able to do inline editing right on the go. You will notice that here you have Chicksy processes property sheet, you have inputs and outputs, and then here you can just input the content on the go and been able to link the objects or create new objects without you clicking on the object and then right click and then edit properties. You no longer have to do that. You have it right there. Again, the goal is here to save time and enable those users to be autonomous. You're also able to do governance workflow activities right from the web modeler. Approving, circulating content, moving the content from one decision maker to the other, you're able to do that right on the spot here. I also want to remind you that the web modeler also has a compare revision feature. And I don't know if you guys use it or not, but it's a really great way for you to identify what changes have been made. I'm just going to pick some of those and see if they have been published. No, they haven't. Okay, let me find the right one that I have.
59.
59?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always published.
Okay, fair enough.
No,
No, it's not.
sorry.
No, it's not 59. No. And I picked one this morning and then I forgot. Let me just pick a bunch of few of those. Let me see if we do have any of those examples. And I think we do. Yeah, we do. Perfect. So you'll notice that there is compare icons here, and then you can essentially notice that between the revision 56 and revision 61, those particular objects have been inserted, as well as you notice that now you have the connectors. So this way you can compare the revisions, you can compare your architecture, you're able to see what changes have been made, removed, moved, resized, and so on and so forth. So quite neat. I do want to also remind you that the QualiAI still working fine in a web modeler. So there was a message that we sent out recently about the QualiChat delays. This does not impact the QualiAI. The QualiAI, you are still able to generate the diagrams on the go just from providing a prompt message to the QualiAI.
Kirill,
All right. Is there a question?
JR has put in the chat, sometimes modelers are using content that they don't own and they shouldn't be modifying that content. How does this feature get blocked? Or how would they be prevented from doing that, I guess is really the question.
Can I answer that?
So
yeah,
go ahead.
So there's access control list options on all objects. So basically every object can have just like you can have access to files, any object can have an access restriction for certain groups of people or individuals, or so that's just normal behavior.
And that is
That's
the answer then?
right.
That would be the only answer then on that. Normally, part of my training years ago was don't mess around with the ACLs. I went, okay, I hear you, Adam, won't do it. And I just never did. So if that's the answer, then sure.
Well, some of these revisions that we looked at here are certainly or probably approved and cannot be changed anyway. So of course there's a governance flow that can prevent this from happening. If you approve a revision, it's frozen, will never be changed. You can create a new revision that you can change, but the frozen revision cannot change. So when you compare to different revisions of the diagram and objects, they are typically not changeable at all. But if they are editable, you can still prevent them from being changed by people who don't have access to them. And this is at the individual object level. Could be the whole diagram, but could also just be one of the objects that are secret, if you wish. You can always see the link to an object, or in this case, the symbol. But if you don't have access to the object, you can actually not open it.
Thank you, Kuno.
So the
So
access rights that you're referring to, Kuno, would be only available in QLab, right? It would not be available in the QualiWare web as far as setting those ACLs.
So those ACLs can also be set by the governance workflow. That would be the way that it would be handled in QualiWare, in the web. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cyril, Mike has his hand up as well when you're finished.
Yep. Go ahead.
I'm just going to add a little bit there. Yeah. I would strongly urge using governance workflow to control that. At CBSA, we have some, quote, symbols that are important enough that there's ownership. So like the inventory of services. So as a result, they have their own governance workflow and they'll be controlled and it'll all work in the web nice and pretty because the web editor will respect the governance workflow of the individual symbols.
Right. Makes sense. Thank you, Barry. Okay.
Yeah,
Now move
actually, Carol, that wasn't Mike that was talking. That was somebody
on.
else.
Sorry, Mike.
Not a problem. So going along the same vein as far as being able to access things and kind of keeping people from things, the question of when you're completing a form or when a person is completing a form, for example, like an incident report, is there a way that only certain people have access to the information that goes into that form?
Yeah.
So are you talking about only particular sort of information that goes into that form or entire form?
The entire form, the contents of the form, whatever I put into the form, because there are some forms that I think you might want to keep the information like as delicate information. It might be human resources, it might be safety, health and safety related, stuff like that. So is there a way for, in some of them at least, for that information just to be privy to certain?
Yeah, you can take any object and you can change the access to that object to an individual set of people or a group of people. And you can also change it to be read-only so that they can see the content, but they can't share it. On incident management, we have included a special combination of governance flows where you, and you will see that on the user desktop, you create a problem. And a problem can be interpreted as from some sort of responsible problem handler as a non-conformance or an accident or an incident or whatever. It can be sort of pushed into different other governance areas, and depending on what governance area, governance flow you push it into, it will adapt those access controls that are defined in that governance area. So if it's a non-conformance, it would be readable by the quality manager and the process manager, of course. Whereas if it's an incident that has could have some sort of secrecy in it, then maybe it's only a specific group of people that will be able to see it.
You could set that up before people actually put the information into the form.
Yes, you can do that. You can do that, and you can have, like, if it is a problem, then there is a line from a problem to a sort of allocation. Somebody receives that problem, a problem handler, and he or she can then define, whoops, this is an accident, and then it follows the accident governance flow from there. Or it's an incident, and then it's a little bit more secret, maybe, follows the incident governance flow. Or it's a non-conformance, then it follows the non-conformance. Maybe just a good idea, and then everybody can see it, right? It wasn't a problem, it was just an idea. So you can handle that in different ways by assigning a specific governance flow to it, or you can give that object a specific access control.
And then, Kuno, just for my own knowledge, when you set those access controls, obviously you said read, write, and so on, but if the person has access to a particular template, let's say we have change request, they still would be able to see the name of that change request, although they are not able to access that change request.
Exactly.
So
we cannot prevent it from the name, the hyperlinks, the symbol on a diagram, that is still there. So don't put secrets into the naming.
Yeah. So it is important to know, let's say if we got problem with my cart and it's the name of the incident, then we watch out for the naming conventions and not to spill over beans essentially over that naming convention. Mike, I think that's important for you to know.
Yes. Don't put down in the title, we have a problem with my cart. I got it.
Yeah, you could actually assume some auto naming of those with just, a template and a number or date or whatever, or the name of the originator. It can be different ways to auto name objects already.
Now, the other thing is, Kuno, since we're quickly talking about that, if I don't have access, let's say, to modifying this particular part, would I still be able to see the properties relevant to that particular object? I won't. No. Okay. Okay. Good to know. Thank you.
I don't hope that, at least, because it will read that object with your credentials, and it should return nothing.
Fair enough. Okay. I will test it out because it is a little bit of a tricky question because we have never tried it with the new properties.
No, please test it. I hope we've tested it already. If we haven't, then I owe you a beer.
All right. Sounds good. I'm glad we have a recording of that. All right. I'm going to move on quickly, guys, just because of the time. I want to go into the visualizations quickly and highlight this feature. This is a quite strong feature that some of you guys have seen. I've actually seen it in some other EA tools as well. And I found that to be a really useful, and I'm glad that QualiWare has created some of its own versions of visualization as well. And it's kind of a little bit of a mind map in here as well, right? Mind map and strength. So here's I'm showcasing your transformation structure of Chixie Beacon investment portfolio. Here's all sorts of initiatives connected to that portfolio. And then if I want to drill down into that, now I see the application portfolio roadmap. And now when I drill down even further, I will be able to see what are the relative aspects of that roadmap is here. And then if I want to dig deeper into any particular object, I'm able to see the dates, project information, audits, and so on. So quite strong and great features. Sorry, I actually closed it. But
okay, I just have to jump in for a moment, Carol, and let you know that we have a wow from JR.
Oh wow!
On this
wow!
one.
Wow!
And Kuno.
I am
Kuno.
Wow!
And we have a wow and a way cool on this one. Just
Boom.
Jumping in there.
Boom. Okay, excellent. I'm glad. So it is a quite strong feature. So I would highly suggest you guys to explore it. I have available example information management, but it would be available across any type of objects in QualiWare. So I think for visualization purposes, for your end users, this is really a strong feature. So
Kirill, try to right click on the first dot.
Yep. First dot.
Yep. Yeah, right click.
Yep.
Expand 5 levels.
All right. Voila. Now we have it right there. And if you want to close it, you basically close some of those. Thank you, Kuno.
That's the wow shot.
That's the wow shot. That's right. That's the money shot, as you say, Brenda, right? There you go. That's the one. Okay.
Yes, it is.
So we highly recommend you guys to explore it in your environment. I think some of those examples would be available with 1010 import files. In any case, for the folks that have our close reach discovery, we would be shipping our version of it, and you guys will notice that that transformation hierarchy, some of those examples we created would be available there as well. Surveys. I want to quickly talk about surveys because we did have a few folks talking about surveys for the past couple of years. People have been asking about surveys. Now we have them. We actually have surveys, and let me just quickly, sorry, if I could spell. Excellent. We do have surveys now. So where is it applicable? Number one, you can do the simulation, and that simulation allows you to set up either your own response. You're able to identify how your participants have replied back to those surveys. You're able to see what's the response distribution to that, as well as the full answers by participant. So if I was to click on that, this is going to actually generate names of folks that should have replied back to the surveys or questionnaires. And this is the list of questions. They are fully configurable. You can do drop-down menu, yes, no, radio buttons, provide your own answer, and it has the calculation of the completion as well for those particular surveys. You also have a dedicated governance workflow that QualiWare has developed. Obviously, it's fully configurable, but I see this to be a fantastic starting point for you guys if you want to send those surveys out, develop the surveys for the application owners who need to provide the response back every year on their application portfolio management. Send it over the survey and let them reply back to you over that governance workflow, and then you'd find the results relevant to the application portfolio and essentially submit those answers to whoever needs to see them, whether it's a CIO, whether it's a Treasury Board Secretariat, the field government of Canada, or anybody else. I'm going to pick Kevin Mullally from CFA one more time. Kevin, if you're on the call, do you find that feature to be useful for the self-service of your application owners?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't actually upgraded yet, but we're looking forward to using it for sure.
Here you go. Here you go. Yeah, so fully configurable radio buttons. I'm just going to quickly go back for a second to the main page and then my response. And here is you have the ranges of the responses. And then again, yes, partly no, you can essentially pick your own kind of answer and set up those answers and questionnaires as needed. So again, the number one approach as we see here is the application portfolio questionnaires that every year you guys have to collect. This could all be automated through the surveys in QualiWare. Any questions so far?
Type of license for people to respond? Is it more the
Collab.
web one?
Collaboration. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's great. All right.
So
And then-
just to be clear, it's collaboration, it's not plus.
No, it's collaboration.
That's correct. It's collaboration
Yay.
license.
So that's a big
what I
difference.
said. Yay.
JR, we always think alike.
Yay.
All right. I'm gonna move on to another thing that wasn't even mentioned on release notes. Kudo, I'm gonna pick you right now because that wasn't even mentioned in the release notes. Technical DAT template. I tried to find one, it wasn't on the release notes. So this is a little bit of an Easter egg here, right? That you guys provided us with. Technical DAT really allows you guys, it's a dedicated template now.
Yes.
It essentially allows you to set up definition, impacts, advise what are the causes of those technical debts, and then set up what kind of technical debt it is right now, and what is the concerns to, and where is it contained in. So I would imagine that folks that are using QualiWare for APM, you guys should definitely start taking advantage of it. So technical debt type, And here's the selection out of the box, quite extensive actually. Is the code an issue? Is it the design? Do we have technical skill set debt? Do we have process debt? Quite extensive. And again, you guys won't see that in release notes, so make sure you have a copy of the close reach QualiWare user group meeting record, which Cecile will send you afterwards, and you guys will see on the YouTube. There's a concerns item. Yeah, Kuno, please jump in.
Yeah, I just want to say that I think you should combine that with in the strategy model, there's a technology feature that you would probably want to, identify different types of the technologies, prioritize them, plan for when that certain technology is going to be implemented in the business or next year or 2 years from now or 5 years from now. And you would do that depending on the technology depth or technical depth that you have identified in your APM or your infrastructure or whatever. So I think it's not just a question of technical depth, it's basically a technical sort of agility and readiness strategy that is the whole thing here. Just a comment.
Okay, no, thank you, Kuno. And the other thing that you guys will notice, now I have dedicated tabs. I haven't closed anything. I just moved from one desktop to the other, and then I have iframe here with technical debt stuff. So before you couldn't do that, which really makes it more user friendly. All right. So we talked about technical debt, so we talked about new template surveys. I want to finish off with 3 things that wasn't mentioned yet. Translation. So, and I want to actually right now share PowerPoint slides because there's going to be more discoveries and findings that we had that I documented. I'm going to move on to here. Test and findings. I'm assuming you guys can see my screen, can you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Translation. So you actually now can connect Microsoft Translator to QualiWare. And what it does, in Microsoft Azure, you have to enable settings and create the translator. There's actually a free subscription for that if any of you, obviously, some of you have Azure Cloud and tenants. You get up to 2 million characters a month at no charge. You would have to enter the values and codes of that translation key into QEF. And the results would be you would have a spreadsheet with miscellaneous labels in QualiWare, one English, the other one would be French. You would click on one button called Microsoft Translator, and that would automatically generate everything in French for you, French or any other language. I don't have that working, unfortunately, because we are just updating our servers and development environment. We did set it up. We did set it up with use of QualiWare's instructions and some little bit of a trial and testing. And yeah, it does work. It's really neat feature as far as translation. The other thing I want to remind everyone, and I think that's important, all of you, or a lot of you, are responsible for translating content into French or any other language, from French to English and vice versa. Browser always allows you to translate things on the fly, by the way. So if you guys ever need to advise your end users, say, listen, we don't have any French content available right now, but if you were to click translate to French in your browser, everything will be automatically translated in French. And that includes underlying tabs, underlying forms. There are some items that won't be translated, like manufacturing route and network. The system just doesn't know what it's going to be in French, but everything else will be fully translated into French. And that's a really great, easy to use feature, guys. Just as a reminder, right click and then translate. So, all right. Yep, Mike.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a note. If you take a look at if you took a look at the things that weren't being translated to French, you'll see that they were words that were stuck together.
Correct. Yes.
So it's a good practice if you are naming things. Don't stick words together, and they will be easily translatable to French.
Fair enough. All right. But other than that, yep, does a pretty good job. And then if I decide to pull any type of QRVs here, you guys will notice everything is translated here as well. So quite neat. So I'm going to go back to original, and then I'm going to go back to the slides. Second. And the next one was QualiWare Go. So QualiWare Go, we got that working. Again, there's a lot of instructions provided by QualiWare. We did have to do a little bit of investigation work as well. But we have that working in the app. And the beauty of this app, it's able to pull the information about your diagram. So any type of documents right on your cell phone. You want to review, how do I do a baggage claim? There's an SOP, let's say, I want to be aware of. I want to review that on the phone. I can do that on the fly. We were able to create the new tag and target asset identifier. So you will notice here we created a laptop asset identifier, and we placed that tag directly on the laptop. And then essentially we could then link any type of objects or any type of information to that particular QR code. So next time when person scans it with a cell phone, he's able to review relevant information to that object. Now, where is it truly useful? I'm actually going to pull something that I found on QualiWare's YouTube channel. So there's a dedicated guide for that, and there is a webinar, but it's truly useful in the operational facility environments. And some of your organizations have to manage facilities and have to manage all sorts of relevant operational services. So instead of you having, a 10-inch thick book, you can just have a QR code. Somebody scans the QR code and he directly accesses the right information that he needs to know about. Was it electrical system or was it HVAC system? What was the QR code, Kuno, in the commercial?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay, it looks like a boiler room.
Yeah, the system can print a QR code, and then you can point in the app to create the 3D points that you want to attach content to.
So, in other words, have all of the right information on the fly, and you will notice that the guide keeps reading the guide where the other person has already found the right information in the cell phone. So we truly think that this is one of the ways to do the operationalize QualiWare to some of the logistical and environments where you do need to see information in the physical world and then translate it and what it looks like in repository, review some SOPs, or review some procedures or some systems engineering information in regard to your inventory of equipment. So can I go back in here? And that's really about the new features. I want to quickly highlight the test and findings that we had. So we've identified there was 6 customer defects of our close reach customers identified, and they were resolved in 1010. The entire list of those defects, I'm sure there's many more defects that's been fixed in 1010, many more. Those 6 we were able to identify for our support portal. We will send you a copy of that report to all of our customers who have submitted the ticket, and essentially so you guys know that's been fixed in QualiWare. Are there any other questions? Any comments? 4:29, right on time.
Oh, Samuel has a question.
Oh, yes. I've got a question about all those new desktops. Kirill, your presentation was great. I don't know if you have a quick and short video guide about how we manage desktop, like your own desktop and pin to my desktop explanation, so I can share that with current users just for explanation purpose instead of me repeating that or creating my own video on the side.
Yeah, so that 10-minute or 9-minute video, which we just talked about at the beginning, Sam,
Okay.
is exactly what you need to your colleagues to explain, some of the great overview and capability features. And there's going to be we actually use 1010 to record that video, so they will be able to see those styles and lists and the other aspects. Now, one thing we don't talk about the actual technicality of how do you create that particular list, of how do you create the tile, or how do you move, let's say, pin your desktop and stuff. But I'm sure there's something available on the QualiWare website from Jeff's standpoint or video.
Samuel, if you're talking about end user help, Carol, go open QualiHelp, and if you can, it describes the desktops and all of the different symbols and shapes like that on it. Right, getting started, I think.
Yeah.
Talks about the whole workspace and everything that's there. All the different symbologies, all the different spaces, tools, action bars, all those kinds of things is right there in the QualiHelp right now.
Okay, perfect. I also have another question. It's more technical. This one's more technical. Regarding the new desktop, new HTML dashboard items that we are going to create, will the QualiWare COE have more information on like all the fields we have? For example, in HTML dashboard item, we have the context filter. Like it's a free text field, right? Do we have like something, and I'm talking about just an example, but it's everywhere in the system. There's another free text field that we don't know what to put in there, like style, like, oh, we're testing things and some things work, something doesn't. Like, will we have more information as you guys create more content? Will you give more information about those special fields there?
Probably.
Yeah. So there's a spatial explanation for each desktop, of course, but also there's a long list of features that has been developed, and there's also, by the way, a list of bugs that have been fixed. So fields on specific templates should either be in the help system for that template or in the Center of Excellence. If it's not there, let us know. But I think we have covered most of it, at least. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you should be able to find that on the Center of Excellence.
Okay, perfect. And I'll report everything I see that I don't have an answer for.
Yeah, do that. Do that.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
for
let us know.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions from folks? Any other comments?
Now, the last but not least, that item that I didn't talk about, and I want to quickly touch base with you on, is actually going to be, I'm just going to click PowerPoint generation. So the PowerPoint generation, it's a really promising feature. We're still investigating how to maximize the benefit of it. There were some questions about styling, and I believe there was a defect related to that styling. Kuno, I can send you that defect after we've discovered that. But
okay.
Yeah, but reality of things is that what it does, it generates the PowerPoint slides for you, and that PowerPoint slides is based on a diagram. And it would provide the image, it would provide you the description, as you will notice in those slides as well. I think there was some work that's required to be done as far as formatting and getting that down to the right styles and master slide deck and so on. But in reality, somebody who wants to get this report or once they have the PowerPoint slides and he goes to the meeting, idea is that you can click on that button, generate the PowerPoint slides, and run to your meeting in 30 minutes and present that on the go to somebody that needs to consume that information. So we're still playing and discovering that tool, but it does look promising, consider if we can fix some of those stylistics. So, all right. Any other questions, guys, comments?
The interesting thing with the PowerPoint generator is that it can also explain, using AI, explain the diagram. So if you did not put a lot of descriptions on your data models, you can ask the AI to explain the diagram. Sometimes those explanations can become a little too long for PowerPoint if you wish, but you know, they're still there. So it's about, you know, getting the content of a diagram out in a different language, something that would be easier for ordinary people to understand, for example.
Okay, that's a good point. It's a very good point. All right, stop sharing.
Okay.
Thank you.
I guess that means it's my turn.
We didn't lose too many people. That's good.
Hey, it's because everything is just, everybody is so excited.
Yeah.
Everybody is
this
so
is
excited.
edge of your seat kind of stuff, Carol. So
It really is. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us on this Monday. I think I just hit the wrong button. Yes, I did. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for joining us for today. I'm going to talk slowly in case anybody has any other questions that they want to bring up. The next meeting will be the last Monday of October, so October 27th. Maybe we can invite Kuno and Brenda to come back and we can have a spooky Halloween theme or something. You guys can show us some scary things in QualiWare.
Absolutely.
We're happy to be at every one of these. And, you know, I said it in the beginning, you know, you guys have got an excellent close reach team to take great and excellent care of you. We're very confident in that. Should you need anything else, you can always connect with us as well. So we're here to make sure you guys are getting value out of the software.
Thank you, Brenda. I think that's it for today, everybody. If you have anything in particular that you'd like to have addressed at one of these meetings, please feel free to get in touch. And we will make sure that that gets onto the agenda. We'll be following up with everyone to set up some one-on-one meetings to go over the particulars of 1010 that may be of interest to you. So I will be reaching out to do that. And in the meantime, this is how you reach us in case you need us. Myself, Kevin, Kirill, and the support team are available to assist in any way we can.